We're trying to help is not accountability. Intent is not a metric. Why good policies still cause harm. By March, in the Pink Patriarchy, we delved deeper into how this dynamic is reinforced. Feminist language, empowerment, protection, dignity gets layered onto policies that don't always deliver those things in practice. The branding matters. It shapes who feels comfortable supporting a policy, who gets invited into the conversation, and whose experiences are treated as credible. But it also creates distance between how a policy is described and how it is lived. When the narrative is curated, the outcomes can be ignored. The thought experiments that broke the illusion. That's where April's thought experiments cut through the noise. When we applied the same policy logic to other industries, construction, childcare, lawn care, the contradictions became harder to ignore. Imagine criminalizing one side of a transaction in those fields while claiming the goal is safety. Jobs would move underground. Workers would lose the ability to screen conditions. Safety protocols would be treated as evidence of wrongdoing. We don't accept those outcomes in other industries. We recognize them as dangerous. But in sex work policy, those same dynamics are often reframed as necessary trade-offs. Case study, when rescue looks like arrest. This isn't theoretical. We can see it clearly in real-world enforcement. Take Polk County's Fool Around and Find Out operation, marketed as a proactive effort to combat exploitation and protect vulnerable people. The messaging emphasized rescue, the visuals emphasized control, but the outcomes tell a different story. Dozens of arrests, public exposure through mugshots and press releases, and long-term consequences that follow people into housing, employment, and family stability. If safety is the goal, we have to ask a harder question. Safer for whom? The pattern we keep ignoring, because this is the gap that keeps repeating across policy, across funding, and across narratives. A policy can be internally consistent. It can be well-intentioned. It can even be widely supported. And it can still produce harm, predictably, consistently, and at scale. Intent is not evidence. Intent is not evidence. It is not data. It is not an impact. It does not, on its own, reduce violence, increase stability, or improve safety. Outcomes do that. And when the outcomes indicate increased risk, isolation, or economic instability, the policy's intention becomes irrelevant. If a policy increases harm, it doesn't matter what it was supposed to do. The question that comes next. So the question we carry into next week isn't whether these systems mean well. It's this: if intent isn't the metric, then what actually is? If we want policies that actually reduce harm, we have to measure them where it matters, in people's lives, not on paper. This series is about closing that gap, naming the consequences, and refusing to ignore who pays the price when policy and reality don't align.